Hi Capricorn, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol and this is your April 2024 reading. So Capricorn, we have a big month. I'm not sure if you follow what's going on in the astrological world, but there is the biggest eclipse of the year actually. It's a total solar eclipse in Aries and it's also a supermoon. And so it's coming out April 8th. Because it's a solar eclipse, this particular eclipse is really focused on new beginnings, which is nice. But before our new beginnings can come out, something has to go. And, a lot of times it has to do with relationships. Maybe it's time to shed a new relationship, take a step back to shed a relationship or take a step back from a relationship. Sometimes, our frequencies just aren't jiving anymore and we can feel it. We just feel that we're not the same. Things aren't the same maybe between us and someone else. And so I thought it was really important because there is such a heavy emphasis this month on, the biggest eclipse of the year on April 8th. And then, having just went through the lunar one March 25th, I thought, well, it really is a time this reading needs to be about, what area of our life we need to focus on for you. What is coming up for you that needs to be shed, needs to be released? What you need to heal from your shadow, from your childhood that's also coming up that needs to heal, sometimes before we can release this. And what new beginning is out there for you, because this is about new beginnings as well. So that's important. So let's get started. I'm going to pull 4 cards from this new indie deck that I purchased, and it's called the Mystical Universe. And so I'll pull 4 cards from that. It's a cool deck, and then I'm going to clarify it with the mini Rider Waite here. I'm going to pull 2 cards for each. And then if I remember, and I forgot for Cancer, I will pull an oracle card from the Moonology deck. Sometimes I forget. I have to remember that. But what we're going to do first, before I begin your reading, Capricorn, is I did yearly readings for you, which are in my description box below. And so I pulled the April card for you, your overall energy for April that I pulled for you when I did your yearly reading, which it was the Knight of Cups in, I don't know if you can see it here. There you go, the reflection. The Knight of Cups in reverse. So let's talk about the Knights in my deck. Knights in my deck are what are called my freedom fighters. They're my freedom fighters, which means it's that part of you, and we all have it. Especially if you're on your healing journey. The one thing that, a lot of people say is that I just want the freedom. I want the freedom to be me. I want the freedom to do what I want to do. And this particular Knight is the Knight of Cups. So this Knight, and it's an adolescent part of us that is just dying to become authentic. And in particular, this freedom fighter, this Knight of yours this month, wants the freedom to be able to feel your feelings. This is an emotional cup. It's the Knight of Cups. Wants the freedom to be able to get angry. I am one that has an incredibly difficult time to get in touch with my anger, and I'm finally this month where I think I had a breakthrough of finding out, why I was not allowed to be in touch with my anger and what happened to me. And so the Knight of Cups for you is in reverse this month, which tells me that whenever a freedom fighter, so whenever the Knights are in reverse, it tells me that there is some anger there, right? Just think of an adolescent who was blocked when they were younger, when they were told they couldn't do something. They wanted the freedom to do something. They wanted the freedom to do what they wanted to do, and they were blocked. Well, there'd be a lot of anger there, and for a lot of them, for some of us, that, we weren't allowed to feel our anger. They want the freedom to feel their feelings. And maybe they weren't told that they couldn't feel certain feelings, like anger and, hopelessness and certain things that they couldn't feel. So certain emotions. So this is where you're sitting here. You're sitting with some, you could be sitting with some real hopelessness this month. You could be sitting in some anger. And so maybe this month you'll get in touch with it because it is blocked right now. It is blocked. So let's start out with this this new deck that I have, and I'm going to pull. There's 4 areas here that I'm going to look at. So the first one is we're going to examine. We're going to focus on a particular area. We're going to figure out, okay, what area in your life do we need to examine right now that during this eclipse cycle, you know, what's coming up for you right now that probably something needs to go. We need to shed something. All right, so I'm going to ask the tarot for one deck. I'm going to ask the tarot deck for one card. So here it is. Here's what needs to... Ooh, the Hermit card. The Hermit card is what comes up for you for a certain area of your life. Number 2, what needs to be released? So what's ending? What's ending during this cycle? This eclipse season, this eclipse energy. What's ending for you? What's coming to an end? One card, please. It's having a hard time coming out. Here we go. Whenever I say that, it comes up. The 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands. Good. All right. So in the 3rd position, what's coming up from your shadow in order to heal? Now, so we're going to do a little bit of shadow work here. If you're not familiar with that term, I've left a video in my description box, and I believe it's the first link in the description box that really helps you. Talks about shadow work and how to do shadow work, and it's really, you know, digging deep in getting to a lot of our stuff that needs to be healed from childhood. So what's coming up for you, Capricorn, that needs to be healed? Oh, that one wanted to come out for sure. And this is the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Wands. And so already I'm seeing you have 2 wands, which is interesting. So we'll talk about that. I think I'm going to put that right there. And then finally at the top is what new beginning awaits? Like what's going to be born here? Once you know, work out your, what needs to be what needs to end, and work out do some healing around that. And what's the new beginning that's coming your way? One card, please. There's 2 there, yeah. Just want one card, please. Okay. One card. Oh, that one turned around. Okay, so that's the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles for us. All right, so I'm going to ask for, going to go to the tarot, mini tarot, and we're going to clarify the Hermit, please. 2 cards for the Hermit. Here's one that just turned over. I saw it. Maybe it just turned back. Pretty sure I saw it. Oh, can't find it. You must have turned back around. Okay, do that again. 2 cards, please. There's one, the Queen of Swords. There she is. And one more card, please. Oh, came out 10 of Cups. And what needs to be released? 2 cards. Ooh, they came flying out. You have the Knight of Wands. Another Knight, which is interesting. Your overriding energy is the Knight of Cups. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. The 2 of Wands here, clarification. The Ace of Swords is kind of coming out sideways here. So we'll just put it in upright. I don't know if you can see that. Here you go. A little bit of light here. And one more, please. One more card. Yeah, I'll put that back in. I wasn't sure if that wanted to come out. Oh, here it is. The Justice in reverse. It's having a hard time focusing. Justice in reverse. I think it's dark outside, so maybe not enough light for it. Okay, the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. 2 cards for the Four of Pentacles. The High Priestess in reverse. And one more card. Ooh, that one came out nicely. Came out as the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Okay, so put that there, and then I'm gonna put my Moonology deck over here so I remember. What area of your life needs to be examined right now during this eclipse cycle? I keep wanting to say cyclone for some reason. This eclipse cycle. So what area? Well, the Hermit card. You know, this Hermit card is all about, love the Hermit card. The Hermit card is really, you know, when you decide to go inwards and really shine a light on things that need to be healed. And so the area that needs to focus on is, you know, I think you need to do a deep dive into finding a safe place, carving out some time for yourself, and really starting to, what looks like to me is really starting to feel some of your emotions. And because the first one that comes out is the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is a feminine part of us, first of all. All my queens are the feminine part of us. So we have a feminine part and we have a masculine part. And the feminine part is a very receptive energy. The Queen is all about the body and getting into your body and really finding out who your authentic self is. You know, she's going to cut through all the bullshit. She's going to get through the truth of who you are. She peels away all the masks of our ego, which is the King in my decks. Pulls all those masks that we wear, right? And she really gets to who you are. And I think what's happening here, the focus, because you're sitting with, you know, in this Hermit energy, this is the area that you have to focus on. I think you're taking a deep dive this month, maybe in, you know, starting to find out who you are, starting to find out who's behind these masks, and really wanting to get to a place where you're going to be able to feel all your emotions, the whole full range of the 10 of Cups. That's feeling all your emotions. And so when any emotion comes up, you know that you have to deal with it. Like, you know, I mean, on a daily basis, I get up and I kind of lay in my bed and I think, you know, what am I feeling right now? And sometimes it could be, you know, some hopelessness, and some things I can tell when it's going to, you know, what kind of a day it's going to be, usually when I'm feeling things stirring. And so, and I do end up going to ground, and then I journal from what I'm feeling, and that just gets me off on the start of what I need to deal with that day. And that's my healing journey. And so I'm seeing that Capricorn, that's where you are right now, is it's time to go inwards and start to really feel all those range of emotions that are coming up for you right now. And so you must be feeling a lot. I mean, with the eclipse season, you can really, I mean, it's been hitting me hard for probably about the last 3 weeks, month. Just, you know, really affecting my sleep, and just a lot of emotions all over the place. Trying to figure out what's what and what's related to what. And so what do you need to release? Oh, well, the Eight of Wands comes here. And the Eight of Wands is a creative card. The Eight of Wands is going in the direction that we want to go in. But maybe there's something that you've been wanting to do. You know, in the Seven of Wands is a card where you're on your own and you're trying to, you know, fight all these people around you off because you feel like you're really on this journey alone. And then finally the Eight is like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just going to release these wands, these creative wands. I'm going to go in the direction I want to go in. And so I'm seeing here that maybe you've been wanting to take your life in a new direction. You want to do something creative, and that could be something so different for yourself that you've never done before. It could be anything, you know, the word creative. It doesn't mean you have to like learn how to play the piano or become an artist or like, but what is it? Is there something that you've always wanted to do? But it's time now. You're feeling it where you're just like, you know what, I'm going for it. And it needs to be released. Like, you need to release this. You need to release that fear, maybe, of just, you know, just finally that hesitancy that you've been holding back. And it's finally time now to release it, because the Knight of Wands is, interestingly enough, is right behind it. And this is, like I said, the Knights are my freedom fighters. And this particular Knight, this fiery Knight, wants to be free to take his life in a new direction. He wants to go. There's a part of you that wants to go, that needs to go. And this is why this Knight is coming out here. And it's interesting that you have the Knight of Cups in reverse for this month that's been blocked. So that's two Knights. That's your overriding energy. So this Knight is like, we're going. I've got to let this go now. Whatever it is I want to do, it's got to happen. And the Three of Pentacles comes along, and you know, the Three of Pentacles is a very creative card. It's the number 3, and so it's working together with somebody. Maybe there's you're going to be working with somebody. But what I'm seeing, because this is a healing channel, and because I talk about healing our stuff, you're sitting in a hermit. Itchy nose here. You're sitting in a hermit position where you've decided to really, you know, shine the light on some of your stuff and really get in and start to feel some of this stuff. And you're going for it. And it may mean that you're actually going to take this step to get some help for this. And for me, the Three of Pentacles sometimes becomes a card of a therapy card, because you realize that you're needing some help, and you're going to jump back into, get back on that train again, get back on your healing journey again, and really taking a deep dive. You know, that's the Hermit, where you're really taking a deep dive into these emotions, because it's time. It's time to figure out, you know, some of this stuff has to go. And and the way that this stuff goes is, you know, there's that expression, you have to feel it in order to heal anything. And you're realizing that this stuff's got to be felt. I have to process these emotions. This is what you're realizing you have to do. And so what needs to be healed here is like, what's coming up from your shadow? Here's do some shadow work here in this third part. And if you're not familiar with that term, shadow or shadow work, I have a video in my description box for you. It's really about looking at that stuff that's sitting in your unconscious that you buried away when you were younger. Could be gifts of ours too that, you know, you buried because someone told you not to, that you weren't allowed to do certain things, right? And it's looking like you want to do something here. But what's preventing you from finally going for what it is that you want to do? Your Knights here, your Eight of Wands here. What's preventing you? Well, the Two of Wands is the first card here, you know, and the Two of Wands is, so there's a decision to be made here. Maybe in your shadow, it looks like the Two of Wands for me is like that beginning of this nudge. There's this nudge here that's coming up. Something is coming up. And I like that they put the crow here, because the crow is always about a messenger, right? You know, you're split here between, you're not sure what to do or how to go about what you're wanting to do. Looks like you want, like I said, the Eight of Wands thing, you want to start something, maybe therapy. But the Two of Wands is coming out for you right now. It's kind of a nudge. You're seeing a bigger picture. It's that there's something else out there for me. There's a bigger world out there. And I think that if I can work through some of these emotions that are sitting in my unconscious and heal a lot more, there's new beginnings that come out for you. And the Ace of Sword comes out here in your shadow as well. And the Ace of Sword is the card. It's a new offer, gift from the universe that says, here's your truth. Your truth, the truth of who you are, is sitting in your shadow. It's sitting in your unconscious, right? There's some hidden truths there that are kind of keys to our real self. We spend our life putting on these masks, our ego self. And then once we finally start digging at who we really are, like that is who we really are that's hidden from us. You can Google it, but there's something online that says we only know what we know consciously with our mind. It's only 5% of who we are. The other 95%, look it up, Google it. The other 95% is sitting in our unconscious. That's who we really are. And so it's your truth. It's the sword right here that's sitting here. And justice is right behind it. The justice card is getting to our truth. The justice card is finding out, who we really are, who we came here to be, what our true path was before, before people that raised us told us that wasn't us. And that's really blocked. And so your truth of who you are is starting to want to come out for you once you start to dig deep into your shadow, once you start to dig deep and really delve into those emotions and start to heal them, and what you do is you start to peel away the little layers. Some of us could have a lot of layers of trauma. We all have trauma, right? And we start digging away at all these emotions, and we get to what's sitting in our unconscious, which is our truth of who we are. That 95% of us is who we are. And so that's the healing that has to be done to really take that deep dive into find out who we are. What's the new beginning that's coming your way? Well, what you have is a Four of Pentacles here. And it's hard to pick this one up. The Four of Pentacles is like this card for me, the Four of Pentacles. Well, I'm thinking of the Rider-Waite card too. The Four of Pentacles is what's often called like the miser card, right? It's about holding on to attachments. It's about holding on to like belief systems, and it's about our pentacle. So it could be holding on to our material things, not wanting to let go. And so I'm seeing that because this is coming up here as a new beginning for you, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a start of a letting go. It's where you start to kind of finally release some of those attachments that you have, because the High Priestess card is behind it. And the High Priestess is the second card in the Major Arcana, and one of these universal forces. She's the second card, comes after the Magician, but she's the first card that shows up that represents the feminine energy. There's the High Priestess, and then there's the Empress number 3. The High Priestess is all about our intuition. She's the feminine part of us that is our inner guidance, our intuition. And she's blocked right now. And so I'm seeing that once you start to really get in touch with your emotions, once you start to find out a little bit more about your truth and the things that are sitting in your unconscious that you don't even know. And that's why a lot of people are scared to do shadow work, because these are things that we've buried a long time ago. And there's so much in there. Memories, trauma, and there also could be gifts that we had to bury, like I said. So there's a lot there, but once you start clearing that away, and once you start, letting go of what you've been holding on to, what happens for you, what's really beautiful that will come for you is you will start to hear your inner guidance again, your intuition. And because right now it's blocked, but it's gonna turn that card upright. You'll start to hear the your intuition is a beautiful thing, because your intuition is coming from your body. It's a feminine part of you. It's not your ego. We all are driven by our ego. We all act. We all really are led by this masculine side of us, our ego self. That really is our drive, that drives everything. But that's only like 5% of what we know about ourselves. And so our intuition is really getting in touch with that other side, that inner guidance that is really powerful, that is buried beneath all this stuff that we need to get rid of. Because, this feeling of Eight of Swords, of being all trapped up in your head, right? Because she thinks she can't get out in this situation right here. She's really blindfolded and she can just walk away. But she's so up in her head, that she just can't see a way out. And these mental swords, these are all these belief systems that she has about herself that are keeping her hostage, that are keeping her trapped. And what happens is, once you start finding out who you really are and you find out the truth of you, well, you're going to be able to find the way out here. You're going to be able to realize that these belief systems that I had about myself, well, you're going to be freed from those. You're going to realize that they're not yours. They're not your belief. They're not true. And because your true authenticity, you're going to find out that's sitting in your unconscious. That's what you're going to find out once you start to heal some of this stuff. So that's your reading, Capricorn. Beautiful reading for you. I am going to now ask for a card from the Moonology deck, just to see where we are. Hopefully one will. There we go. Wow. Full moon in Scorpio. Let's read this. Full moon in Scorpio. 82. Okay, it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time, since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. Oh my God, that's what we were just talking about with the Hermit card and the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Cups, feeling all your feelings. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air when you pull this card. If that's the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. Is that not all about eclipse energy, right? Letting people go that are toxic. For some, however, this card has a totally different meaning. Your sex life can improve now if you make an effort. Use your magic. You have all you need inside you to bring about your desired result. All right. So it sounds like this is a real ending that's coming for you, and it's asking for you to let go of negativity, toxicity in your life. All right, so I'll talk to you later. I think, oh, before I go, I think what I'm going to leave you with is how to process emotions, because it really looks like you need to get into your emotions, start to feel your emotions, and then when you do, I want to give you some help on how to process your emotions. All right, so I'll talk to you later, Capricorn. Take care. Bye-bye.